Hello fellow motorcyclists. I'm doing this video actually because I've just got rid of a Part X, my Royal Enfield 411 scrap. It's on a 23 plate. I just Part X'd it. And someone said to me like, oh, you should do a video and just telling people why you've had to get rid of it. And I thought, well, I don't know, people wouldn't be interested in that. And then I thought, well, you know what, I'll put in my 2 pence worth on why I had to get rid of it, why I couldn't live with that bike. And it's as simple as this. By the way, all my opinions are my own. Of course, they're completely subjective. There's going to be people that are going to disagree with me, and that's fine, absolutely fine. But I found the motorcycle to be literally, quite practically, the most boring bike I've ever had. But I didn't pick that up at the time. I didn't pick up on that at the time, you see. The bike come about after I'd had a year off the road from riding. And that was due to a really particularly nasty motorcycle accident that I had, where a BMW smashed into the back of me, and I was on a Royal Enfield Himalayan BS4, a 20 plate, and it was coming up to 30,000 miles in 2.5 years, and that's with like amongst COVID as well. So you can kind of see the sort of mileage that I do. I drive a truck all day long, so then I don't want to be in the car. I like to commute around on a motorcycle, so I do quite high mileage easily. And the BS4 Himalayan was beautiful. It really was, glided over bumps. I could never fault that bike, and I would still have that BS4 today had it not been written off. Well, anyway, took 1 year off the road, and and then this bike come up on the market, because I found myself in the market again. I felt ready to get back on 2 wheels after 12 months, like say recovering and whatnot, and getting over the accident. And I saw this bike just for sale at a little dealership at the top of my road. And I thought, it was the right money. It was 1 year old. You'd got a bit of warranty left on it. I thought, oh, sound all right. I'll get that. Low mileage, about 2,000 miles. Practically a new bike for me, really. So there I found myself back on the road on this Scram 411, and immediately I noticed the difference. It was like the difference between the Himalayan and the Scram. It was hard for me to. It's hard for me to get across unless you've ridden both bikes a lot, But definitely the suspension's a lot firmer. Steering's a lot more twitchier, because obviously the smaller front wheel again, which makes a real big difference. Going from a 21-inch front wheel to a 19, I found that a massive difference. I think performance-wise, they do say that they are mapped in a different way. I couldn't tell the difference. I'm going to be brutally honest with you there. It seemed to perform exactly the same. But this is where, after a bit, it suddenly occurred to me why I couldn't get on with this bike. The BS4 Himalayan, I was happy being the slowest person on the road. I was happy being that person. I'd plod around. I'm a plodder anyway, by the way. I'm not a redhead. Never been a redhead. And I was happy being the slowest guy on the road. If I was on the motorway, I'd be just cruising behind a lorry at 56 miles an hour. It didn't bother me. I could watch the world go by. It didn't bother me. But with the Scram kind of gives the impression when you're on it. This is only what I found. It wants to go quicker. It wants to be a DRZ 400. It wants to go. But it gives that impression from sitting on it. But of course it can't. It's 24 brake horsepower. It ain't going to do that. So I found myself, whenever I was going for a spin anywhere, quite early on, just not being bothered. Like, I'd get 30 miles away from home, and then I'd just kind of, I've had enough now, I can't be bothered. And I'd just turn around and come and, as we all do, we do like a big loop, don't we? I'm sure you all do it as well. And I ended up, sometimes I'd just literally turn around and come back the way that, and anyway, so at the time, I thought it was just me, I thought it was just me. From after the accident, I thought the love of motorcycling had gone from the accident, and that I just couldn't be arsed anymore, and I thought the whole thing was frivolous. What's the point, you know? But no, it wasn't. It was the bike. It suddenly occurred to me, you know, that it was the bike. The bike was just that boring that it couldn't perform the way that it felt it was telling me to perform, you know. And I've had a go on DRZs, and anyone who's ever had a go on a DRZ 400, that you'll know what I mean by when you sit on it. I mean, there's a reason why motorcycle news called them license losers, yeah, back in the day, because when I had to go on one, I immediately found myself trying to wheelie and do stoppies. I'm not that sort of rider, but it brings out that inner idiot in you, and the scram kind of did that. It was bringing out that little bit of an inner idiot in me. If idiot's the right word, but yeah. So that's why I got rid of it, folks. Again, my views are completely subjective, but it'd be interesting to see if anyone else has had that same with the Scram 411. Oh, also as well, it had got this horrible startup issue on there, which is quite common on this Scram. The Scram apparently, not the BS4 Himalayan. They never had this problem ever, but like it does false starts. I tried putting this big fat battery in there that everyone on forums was telling me to do. No good. It improved a little bit, but it keeps doing these false starts where you hit the start button and like it just goes dum, and it's like, oh, what's wrong? And then you have to press it again. Sometimes it wouldn't do it at all. Oh, nightmare. Then the engine light would come on, then it has to do 5 clean starts, I think it is, or 4 clean starts until it gets rid of the engine light. But then I kind of worked out that it was doing these false engine starts roughly about in every 10 starts, maybe 4 of them would be these false starts, which is terrible, isn't it? I've never owned a bike like that ever. All right. Anyway, so there we go, and I've Part-X'd it with a 2008 CBF 600S, an old bike, and she's beautiful to ride. She's as revvy as hell. I'm not used to 4 cylinders whatsoever. I'm a single cylinder parallel twin guy. Never owned a 4 cylinder, so I'm just getting used to it. But again, the difference between the two bikes, it was almost a straight swap as well, folks. It was a Part-X, and I just give them under £1. So there we have it. Anyway, hope this helps, and any comments, keep them constructive. I've tried to be constructive. All I'd say is try and be constructive with your own disagreements rather than saying, mate, you're talking a load of bollocks. Just be constructive.